afternoon, everybody, and welcome to some more exciting ACAC hockey here in beautiful Calgary, Alberta, where you are seeing the SAIT Trojans versus the Briercrest College Clippers. I'm Brendan Donald, and today joining me on the broadcast is my good friend Will Manzik. How you doing today, buddy?
Doing pretty good. You know, I'm excited for a good hockey game coming out here tonight. SAIT looking to bounce back after a bit of a rough one last night, and I think they probably got what it takes to get it done.
Yeah, yesterday was definitely one of those games we looked at as, without a doubt, a trap game. SAIT coming in yesterday with a record of 7-3, and then Briercrest coming in with only 3 wins. So today, obviously, able to take a step back, rebound after the situations. But first off, we are going to give the starting lineups. Will, take us over for the starting lineups here for Briercrest.
In net, they got Dominic Temej, their 4th goalie. They have Landon Russell on defense with Brandon Kelly. Regan Poncelet, Colton Akins, and Dane Milgate are the forwards that are starting for them.
Yeah, so that is going to be a different starting lineup than what we've seen yesterday. And for your SAIT Trojans here today, in net for tonight's game is number 31, Spencer Welke in net, getting his 3rd start of the year. Then on the defensive side, we have Keegan Casey and Dylan Shivas. Then moving over to the offensive side of things, we have Tanner Sidaway, Zach Cox, and Dylan Clark. I actually really like this matchup. We have a nice little combination of goal scoring, playmaking ability, and just well-round good defense. Shivas, really talented defensive puck mover. Really like his game. Will, who are you looking forward to watching today for these SAIT Trojans?
Cam McAdam, actually. Had 2 points last night, 2 assists, and I think he's kind of one of those guys that goes under the radar when it comes to this offensive team that the Trojans have, because when you look at their offense, you see Zach Huber, you see Carson Welke, you see Mackenzie Welke, and you also see now Brandon Machado. And the Cam McAdam, he's right there.
Yeah, this is going to be a very exciting matchup here for you today live on ACAC TV. We will be back right as soon as puck drop starts. And here we go, getting ready for this hockey game here on ACAC. Obviously, less than 24 hours removed from their game yesterday where we saw the Clippers over the SAIT Trojans 6-3. Will, what are you looking forward to in this game? What would you like to see these SAIT Trojans do to put up a W today?
I want to see a quick start from them. I want to see this offense get rolling early. And I think looking at Spencer Welke, last time out, he struggled a bit against Portage, I believe it was.
Was against Portage.
And yeah, I think him having a good start today is a huge thing to get that confidence back that could have been taken away from that game.
Yeah, that was... Here we go. SAIT Trojans now back in their own zone. Here we see number 17 of the SAIT Trojans, Dylan Shivas, played really, really well. Good first little test there for Spencer Welke, getting the puck down. And as a goaltender, you always love to have that opening save of the game. Obviously coming in less than 20 seconds into this opening frame. But yeah, Will, now that we've talked about the SAIT Trojans, what are you looking forward for Briercrest to see how they're going to play today? What would you like to see them improve on?
Keep up that offensive pressure. I think SAIT overlooked them last night, and that's what led to such a quick start for Briercrest with 2 goals in the first period. I think if they can keep up that offensive pressure, especially from Jake Dale, who had 3 points last night, if he can keep that up and try and lead this team to victory, it's huge.
Yeah, and what we're seeing right here is Tanner Sidaway doing a good job of bringing that puck in, but now we have a nice little battle here in the corner, but Briercrest doing a good job of being able to bring that one out. That is Akins firing that one in just so he's able to get some fresh legs on. A little bit of a quick change here, but Briercrest doing a great job at keeping that puck in the zone. 2-on-1 situation there for Briercrest over SAIT. Let's see what SAIT can do to potentially get that one out there. That was number 12, Keegan Little, firing that one at Spencer Welke, but he is able to get it up, and we have it. Looks like an icing call here, Will.
Yes. Briercrest is doing a great job with that offensive pressure. They're taking it so far. Only a minute in so far, but they are looking really good.
Yeah, one thing that we saw yesterday during that game is Briercrest got out to a really, really hot start. They outshot the SAIT Trojans 14-9 in that opening frame. Then in the second period, SAIT was able to get it back a little bit, and then Briercrest late, but really good shot there from the point by the captain, Arsenet, who fires it through, but good job by Shivas. Really, really talented player. Really liked his game yesterday. He was flying all over the ice yesterday and just unable to connect it. That was number 55, Stevenson, trying to find his teammate there, just not able to get that one done. Here we see Arsenet dumping it in, just not quite getting it there. Spencer Welke just bats that one away. Falgeris now with the puck, trying to find some open space, trying to get a teammate there. A little bit of a wobbler there, not quite getting it. Back into Trojan zone with Falgeris, back on the puck. Now it goes to Zach Huber, who's in SAIT's butchery program. Not one of the programs you usually see from hockey players, butchery and charcuterie, but nonetheless, he is in that program, and it's very, very interesting, and he is very passionate when talking to him about it. Well, so with about just shy under 2 minutes into this game, SAIT Trojans are being outshot 3-1, but most of the time has spent so far here in SAIT Trojans zone. Briercrest doing a phenomenal job at keeping that puck here in this end, but Briercrest able to win that. It's number 25 for Briercrest dumping that in, Citrello. Nice little battle here on the boards. Couple of players here by both squads getting into it. Trojans able to get that one out there, and that's Trentham, who's just performed so well, getting that to Machado, who is leading the ACAC with 17 total points. And it looks like we have a player down on the ice, and we're going to be having a penalty coming up here to SAIT, and that one gets blown down. So looks like this is going to be coming up to Brent Trentham.
Yeah, well, it all started with that hit on the boards against Machado. It looked like it could have gone for something. Trentham's just sticking up for his teammate there, doing whatever it is. Unfortunately, he gets called with a penalty there. But, I mean, honestly, SAIT's probably more upset with the fact that that hit on Machado isn't called a boarding there, more than they're upset with Trentham.
That was definitely one of the things where we looked at and said it was very, very interesting call. That wasn't. Trentham gets the penalty. One thing that we do like to talk about is referees often look at the retaliation as opposed to the initial move. Not necessarily something that we like to see, but so far here, SAIT doing a good job getting that puck out. But SAIT on the power play, they are number 1 on power play goals with 13 so far this year. They've had 46 power play opportunities, 28.3% on the power play. So let's see what they can do and potentially start this game onto a hot and early note. Unfortunately, yesterday they had 6 power play opportunities against Briercrest, but they were not able to put any behind the goaltender, who was just on fire yesterday, and that was Pollock. But Briercrest trying to fire that in. That was Stevenson. They're now moving that one around. Ends, passes it to Feller. Moving it around, trying to find something, gets back to Ends. He just fires that from the point, but good pad save there by Spencer Welke. There was some traffic in front, but Trojans doing a good job, and Shivas just firing that one in, allowing to get a nice, quick change, putting some fresh legs on the ice. Falgeris right in front of us here. Big man, former Humboldt Bronco. Really good point getter on the defensive side of the board for the SAIT Trojans, getting a handful of points from the defensive side, which will, as you know, coaches love having defensive players who can put up a lot of big points. But what a situation there. Melgate was just completely wide open. It didn't feel like any SAIT Trojans player was really actually watching him, but luckily they were able to get back. They were able to recover really, really nicely. And now we see Sidaway there on the board trying to get it. A little bit of a tangled up situation there with Melgate. Again, he's very much just trying to hide out here, but Shivas covering him off. He's very much aware of that. With 5 seconds remaining here in the penalty, and that is over. So we are back to 5-on-5 hockey. Brent Trentham kind of in a wide open situation, not necessarily the pass he would have liked. Oh, he just fires it back in, tried to get it to Jenkins, just not able to get that one home. Miller there battling on the boards, trying to find some open space. Let's see who gets it, but good job by SAIT there. Casey firing it, passing it over to Shivas, fires that one home, and then we see Tamaj getting a nice little glove save there. And we go. So, unfortunately for that, they just couldn't quite get anything going there. Will, what would you like to see the SAIT Trojans do now that they're going to put a little bit more time in the Clippers zone?
I want to see this passing game improved a bit. One thing I've noticed with Briercrest, especially on that power play, they move that puck around fast. I want to see SAIT do that as well. Stay a step ahead at all times.
Yeah, that's exactly what we want to see here, and we have a quick icing call. And yeah, so one thing that we saw a lot from this Briercrest team yesterday is they like to force these SAIT Trojans out wide, making it really tricky for them to get any pressure down the middle, which is something the Trojans have been so good at this year, is bringing pressure up the middle. Briercrest said, you know what, we're going to flip that on its head. We saw a lot of it yesterday where they said you were going to go on the outside and you were going to have to work to get some of those cleaner shots. But here we see Briercrest coming back in. Lindstrom looking for a shot, but that one gets blocked. Good job there by Casey. Briercrest moving it around. Ashworth right in front of us. Arzuet passing it to Stevenson. Tries to get it to Ashworth, but a SAIT Trojan is there to pick it up. Moving it around. Good shot there by Arzuet.
What a save by Spencer Welke. Standing strong, throwing that glove hand out.
Yeah, that is exactly what you like to see here. Obviously, Spencer Welke's first game in the ACAC put a shutout, and it was a really impressive game because he had to make a lot of tough saves. Obviously, when they went up against Portage, less than stellar there on that one. Didn't necessarily have the same level of game or play that he would like to have, but here we go. Face off here in the zone. SAIT able to win that one. That is Zach Ziegler. Moving it around, looking for a shot. Can't quite get there. Good save there by Tamaj. SAIT trying to find some areas, but they are able to break it. Good body checking there by the SAIT Trojans of Carrier. Falgeris just can't quite keep the stick or the puck on his stick for that opportunity. So they're going to have to battle. One thing that we saw a lot from the SAIT Trojans yesterday, Will, is they just couldn't quite get those passing lanes as open as they would have liked to. And so that's one of the things that going into today's game that I'd really like to see. Chase Falgeras doing a really good job there at keeping that puck in, firing it. That was kind of a little bit of an awkward shot, but he was able to get it there. Chivas, again, he is just so quick and just does a lot of really good fancy movement, puts that one on there. From the defensive side of things, that is just a beautiful thing to see, having an excellent puck-moving defenseman.
I'm going to quickly hit referee mode for you guys. Someone's going to have to start calling the cheap hits against the boards that we've seen in the corners. We've seen one against SAIT, and we've seen one against Briercrest. These teams played a pretty dirty third period. They had a lot of exchanges near the end, and I think that's starting to boil over into today's game, and it could be a long game if that's the case.
Yeah, you saw Carson Welke there talking to one of the officials saying, listen, if this is going to continue to happen, you know, we always talk about players policing the game on the ice, but there's the reason that there are officials out there. Chivas doing a good job firing at the point. Tamaj, again, nice save there, just bringing it into his chest and just putting that one down, not allowing that one to have a dirty little rebound. And here we have the face-off. Trojans are able to win. Moving it around. Nice little battle there on the boards. SAIT doing a good job. Passing that one back to Chivas. He just fires it at the point. That's his third shot of today's game. And he's really just moving that one. He's just taking all the shots he has. And obviously yesterday having himself a really good game. And finally we have a whistle that could potentially be offside, Will?
Offside, yeah. Sheaves, I don't think he gets enough credit for his work on that blue line. He is a key piece of this team's defensive core. He can take shots from anywhere. We've seen him go up on those quick breaks where he's on a breakaway. And I just think he doesn't get enough credit for the type of player that he is.
Yeah, leading the team and also the ACAC in defensive score or point getters. So you know you love to have that. Obviously, Brent Trentham putting up a bunch of good points, 6 goals, 6 assists so far this year. Having a little bit of a slip there by Jenkins, middle of the ice, but they are able to get that one back. Huber looking around, trying to find his teammates there, ultimately finds Carrier. And he's just behind his net trying to get everyone set up, trying to find a clear pass, gets Huber. Now he is skating up. Again, Briercrest doing a really good job of just forcing these SAIT Trojans outside. But here we see Schmier firing good opportunities, but just not able to get it home. Briercrest, a little bit of a foot race here. Number 15 of Briercrest, Akins, battling with Carrier, or Ziegler, excuse me. Nice little battle, but Ziegler was able to ultimately come out on top on that one. Cam McAdams there, battling, just dumps it in. Dylan Chivas, good job by him. Again, whenever Chivas is on the ice, he is just all over the place, doing a lot of good things. Nice fire from Zach Cox, leads this team with 7 goals. And again, a little bit of boiling of frustrations there at the other end. Will, we're about 9 minutes in this first period. What have you liked by both teams so far?
I've loved Briercrest's ability to move that puck. They look like they're 3 steps ahead at all times when they have the puck. And I love SAIT's ability to get that puck deep into the Briercrest zone and get those shots off quick. It doesn't matter who's shooting it. Every one of these guys has that chance to score.
And it looks like we're going to be having here a penalty coming up to Tanner Sidaway of the SAIT Trojans. So we are going to be back on another penalty. So going to Briercrest's efficiency on the power play. They are second in the AC with 9 power play goals, 37 power play opportunities for 24.3%. Doing a fairly good job this year. Will, what did you see on that penalty?
I'm not sure what I saw yet. I saw some digging along the net just after the whistle, but I didn't see anything super crazy that would lead to a penalty.
Yeah, I think both of us were looking at that situation, not exactly sure what happened on that. We thought everything looked relatively clean on the play, but referees saw something different. Again, Will, I love having you up in the booth with me here because you were our former referee, so having a rules expert alongside me is also really great. Weeb moving that around. Point leader for the Briercrest College Clippers. Really, really good player. Got himself a goal yesterday to help put them just continue that lead. SAIT doing a good job there. Carson Welke getting that puck out. Briercrest not necessarily getting these same opportunities that we saw yesterday in today's game, but good job by Dale opening up yesterday's scoring and was Briercrest College Clippers player of the game yesterday. Calgary boy as well, so he's happy to come out here, put on a nice performance in his hometown. But SAIT able to just fire that one out there. Brandon Machado, ACAC point leader with 17 total, going for it. Good little tip pass there by Felgeris, just kind of batting that one out of the air, kind of really slowing down that Briercrest Clippers entry. And very good shot by Machado. He was completely out in the open. That is easily, I would say, SAIT's best opportunity. That could have been a short-handed situation. SAIT leading the AC, or they're tied, in the ACAC for short-handed goals with 3. You would have loved to seen them add another short-handed goal here. We are coming to the end of this Tanner sit-away penalty. He's skating over there, getting fresh legs on the ice. So we are back to 5-on-5 hockey. One thing that we saw in yesterday's opening frame, we only saw 2 penalties. We only seen 2 penalties right here as that one gets batted up into the netting there. Ziegler and number 28, Landon Russell, one of a couple sets of brothers here on this Briercrest Clippers, getting my tongue a little tied there. Clippers player. Little bit of an exchange there after. But here we see a face-off here in the SAIT Trojans zone. SAIT Trojans able to win that. That goes around to Jenkins. Again, looking for just open space. Brings that over to Ziegler. Moving that around. Brings that back up to Jenkins. Oh, tries to find Huber, but Huber unable to get it on his stick and gets pushed down. Briercrest coming in there. Weens looking for a shot, just passes it up. Trying to find some open space, gets a little bit tangled up there, and Ziegler now back with the puck on his stick, moving up. Tries to find Miller, ends up finds Jenkins. Battle here in the boards, but that is Miller skidding around. Shivas, penalty coming up here to Briercrest for our 3rd of the game, and this one is getting a little bit spicy here, Will. A little bit more words said to each other. What did you see on that penalty?
Unfortunately, I missed the penalty, but it's the 2 guys that were going at it in front of the SAIT net just a moment ago. Kind of one of those ones where almost like, hey, you know what? We just had some words. I'm going to bring it to you again. Unfortunately, he gets caught, and now SAIT gets a chance to go for a lead here with the power play.
Yeah, and here on the power play, the SAIT Trojans, number 1 with 13 total goals, doing a really, really good job so far this season at scoring when they have the man advantage. Shivas unable to keep that one in, and we have another whistle. But yeah, they've had 46 total power play opportunities, and netting 13 for 28.3% there on the power play.
Well, there goes the power play. Looks like Trentum's getting a high sticking penalty off of the faceoff.
That is one that we don't really see too often, a penalty off of the face-off.
Unless he caught the winger right away, I don't know where the high sticking came from.
Yeah, needless to say, you and I, Will, are both a little shocked. Trentum in the box beside us, shocked. He walked in there not really sure what he did either. And that was blown dead basically right immediately away. But nonetheless, we are playing some 4-on-4 hockey here. Unfortunately for the SAIT Trojans, they aren't really going to have much of an advantage. They only have 4 seconds of the power play. And so we're going to have 4-on-4, then 5-on-4 for 4 seconds. But Spencer Welke doing a good job there at covering up that puck. And Now we have a face-off here.
Personally, I'm a fan of 4-on-4 hockey. I think it's fun. That's where you see good players really start to shine through.
I also indeed like 4-on-4 hockey because there's a lot of space opens up on the ice, less bodies there, more opportunities, and you really start to see, like what you said there, those special players really shine. But here we see Briercrest moving it around. That is Jake Dale trying to find his teammates. Now a nice little battle in the corner, but Dylan Shivas, again, whenever he's on the ice, he is always a present. He's a presence force. He's just always around the puck. And as a D-man, that's exactly what you like to see. But here moving forward, we see Casey, again, his D partner, moving it around, trying to find something happening. Can't quite get it there. He was looking for a sit-away, just couldn't quite get it. But Dylan Clark able to pick that one up. Has no one there, had 3 Briercrest players all in front of him. But Casey now back with the puck, trying to get everyone set, calm down. Dylan Clark again with a beauty right in the middle, just met with the 3-on-1 situation there, just unable to connect the situation. But Falgeras firing it from the point, and it is picked up by the goaltender Dominic Temej, excuse me. So unfortunately, no real power play opportunity for both teams on this situation. Again, we're still kind of questioning that call, but 4-on-4 hockey, and it's something you and I both enjoy, and I know a lot of hockey fans also enjoy watching that as well. Chase Miller there taking the face-off against Keegan Little. Well, that was actually Serraltro, excuse me, but Briercrest able to win that one. Jenkins trying to get that one. Nice. Moving it around. Ziegler goes behind his net, allowing everyone to kind of get set up. Met by Ponset. Moving it around. SAIT getting a little bit lost behind their own net. Trojans are able to get it. Brent Trentham is out of the box. Both players are out of the box, so we are back to 5-on-5. Brent Trentham now with the puck. Again, just not able to quite get exactly the puck on his stick there. 6.5 minutes remaining here in this opening period. Very, very good, tight contest so far here in this lovely afternoon ACAC game. Shivas passes it to Miller. He's looking for some space, trying to get it in. Nice little chip pass. And he was looking for Huber there, but Tamaj puts his glove over that and blows the play dead. So with 6 minutes and 10 seconds here, for you, Will, what have you liked, what have you not liked so far in this game?
The discipline could be way better. But I love the intensity that has come with that game, and the intensity, the high intensity, just going to come with that discipline. So, honestly, all in all, it's been a really good first period. We've seen great scoring chances from both sides. Neither team has controlled the period, and neither team has looked out of it at all.
Yeah, I would have to completely agree with you there. SAIT able to win that face-off there on the draw, but ultimately gets batted out. A little bit of a scrimmage there between Carson Welke and the Briercrest player, but we are able to get back to action. Spencer Welke, excuse me, having to kind of make an emergency situation. Big hit there. Both players are up, but the Williamson, or Tashaka, excuse me, of Briercrest able to get that puck. But Trojans able, big hit by Huber, and another big hit by Mackenzie Welke. It is getting physical out here, and it looks like we're potentially going to be having some penalties, Will.
And Zach Huber, former Saskatoon Blade, bringing the WHL intensity.
Yeah, and we can see right here Carson Welke speaking to the referees, and Zach Huber. Looks like we're going to have offsetting penalties here for both squads. I think very much so. Very physical game, and
I don't see the penalties. I don't. Huber goes in. He doesn't charge in, and it's not like Briercrest didn't have the puck. They looked like clean, hard hits. So I don't see why we're calling a penalty there, but I also can understand if they're just trying to keep control of the game in worry that it's going to go a little crazy.
Yeah, and some of the situations as a referee, you look at some of what would be considered clean hits, but it's getting a little bit physical out there. Sometimes you just need to slow everything down, call a couple of penalties, Carson Welke slow to get off the ice. Whistle was called as he was still, or the puck was dropped as Welke was still trying to get off here. But now we continue to move on. We'll find out the exact length of time for both of these penalties.
I'd assume just 2 minutes each. I'd like to know what was called.
I agree with you, but we will find that out from our PA announcer, Christian, during the intermission. But very good first period. Both teams doing a much better job. Very consistent defense. But boy, oh boy, the physicality that we saw in that third period yesterday has definitely come into this game here. And we have seen quite the number of penalties. 6 total in this first period. So again, going back to what you were saying a little bit earlier, the discipline, we'd like to see it a little bit cleaner. Again, for us doing that commentator's curse, we said we want to see better discipline. And what did we see? Not even 30 seconds later, 2 boys in the box. Carrier now moving the puck in, fires it, but good glove stop. Didn't quite get it there. He's not going to be called up to the Toronto Blue Jays to be playing catcher anytime soon, but he was able to get that one stopped. Good shot there, or good shot attempt by Cox, but the stick got blocked there a little bit. Moving it around, that's Casey. Moving, trying to find an area is Dylan Shivas. He's behind the net looking for it.
So from our PA announcer, Chris, it looks like it's offsetting roughing penalties.
That would make a lot of sense, obviously. Very physical. Again, both of us thought it was fairly clean hitting, but sometimes you just need to kind of control the game, slow it down, whistle here. But yeah, very, very good couple of opportunities by both teams. But yeah, as we're continuing to get some information here, 2 minutes offsetting penalties. So that is why we remain at 5-on-5 hockey. Valjeris, then we also have Ziegler on the back end for his SAIT. Then we have the power line. And Briercrest able to fire that one in there, but we have a whistle. I think there was a little bit of confusion there from the penalty box. Both doors opened while we were on 5-on-5, but we were able to get that one stopped, and we are back in Clippers zone.
Yeah, that could have been dangerous, especially with Briercrest gunning up that side. We know SAIT likes to take him out right along the penalty board side, and if that door was open, that could have been dangerous.
Yeah, but we move on, we learn, and we get better. That's all we have to say. But Trojans winning that one. Ziegler gets it in, and I thought that one went into the back of the net, but the referees keep the play going, and Briercrest able to bring that one back in. But Will,
what did that hit if it didn't hit the back of the net?
You and I both there are kind of questioning, but Miller coming in looking for Mackenzie Welke, gets it in, but we have a stop to play there. I would love to see a replay on that one because I thought that hit the back of the net. Ziegler with just an absolute rocket from the point.
Call Toronto, I want to see that replay.
Yeah, call Toronto indeed, but in the ACAC we don't have replays for the ability to kind of take back, but still another great opportunity here for SAIT with it in the zone. Casey just firing that around, trying to find his teammate there. Shivas now with the puck. Oh, so dangerous is he. Fires that one at the goaltender. That's his about 5th shot so far this period. He has just been such a workhorse for this team from the back end. Him and Casey getting together, exchanging a couple words, going, okay, how are we going to get this cleared up a little bit? Will, one thing that I like from both teams is they're not giving clean angles at shots. They're going, if they're going to give you an angle at a shot, it's basically right at the goaltender's chest. And at that point, you're just hoping that your goaltender doesn't make a weird move and opens up a hole there. But good job by both teams. Dylan Shivas there with a little bit of a soccer kick, it almost seemed like, to kind of stop the puck.
Multi-sport athlete?
Multi-sport athlete, and the goal by Brandon Kelly of Briercrest to put them up 1-0. And that was just a weird shot angle. And again, going back to the great one, Wayne Gretzky, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And Brandon Kelly getting the shot there. Boy, oh boy, did he take that one. Number 10 of Briercrest to put this game up 1-0.
Snuck that one inside blocker side, put it right top corner. The only spot of the net that he was able to hit that wouldn't have been stopped by Spencer Welke.
Yeah, and you know, for Spencer Welke, after such a really good period by him, you know, he's definitely not wanting to have that one. And right now we see these SAIT Trojans down 1-0. We're still in the first period, just shy of 2 minutes remaining here in the opening frame. But SAIT Trojans now having to play a little bit more on the back foot here. Moving it around is Machado, leading the ACAC and these SAIT Trojans in points. Firing that around. Machado with a nice little battle here with a Clippers player on the board. Finds Schmier, fires that one, but just can't quite connect onto the net. A little bit of a floater shot there. Briercrest trying to get the puck out of their own zone. And they are capable of doing that. Here we see Aikens doing a nice little move there on Schmier, but SAIT doing a good job at covering that one up. Aikens again with the puck, but Schmier able to get that one out. And nice little battle there. Sidaway able to get that one in to negate the icing call, and we score! Dylan Clark with an absolute beauty. Oh my goodness. Sidaway with the great extra effort skating in there to negate the icing call, gets it to Dylan Clark. So we have a tie game. Boy, oh boy, that was a beauty, Will.
And that's exactly what SAIT needed. You did not want to end this first period down 1-0 after playing such a good first period. And tying this one up, I think just it brings that morality. It just, everyone's kind of more like, okay, we're still in this, we got this, we're able to go.
Yeah, Dylan Clark, you know he is a point getter, playing 5 years in the AJHL. Last year playing a total of 58 games for 2 separate teams, majority of the time with Calgary. And boy, oh boy, 58 total games, 58 total points. First year in the ACAC, getting a lot of, you see why SAIT Trojans like him so much as a freshman, because he puts up points, and boy, oh boy, that was a beauty of a goal right there. 35 seconds remaining here in this opening frame. Stop me if you've heard this before, but the Toothless Wonder, as my partner over here has deemed him, Dylan Shivas, moving it around from the D spot, but Briercrest back on the puck. Moving that in is Little. Jaden Little as opposed to Keegan Little, but we get
SAIT's getting a penalty.
And it's definitely getting a little bit physical here with 18.1 seconds remaining. But Briercrest clearly unhappy about something. But as you're saying or alluding to there, the SAIT Trojans will be leaving realistically this first period with a man down, but they might have done something to where we're going to be having offsetting penalties. Referees having a conversation here. And that is Zach Cox coming into the penalty box.
And we do have offsetting penalties, it looks like. Looks like Jaden Little is going in as well.
Jaden Little also going into the box. So for the second time today, having offsetting penalties. Again, we knew this game was going to be physical coming into it with how yesterday ended. But yeah, it is a little bit more rough and tough than what we thought initially coming into today's game. But here we go. 15 seconds remaining here. Both teams probably just going to just end the game pretty quickly. So, Will, what do you got for us on that penalty?
It looked like it's offsetting roughing penalties. That's the only signal I saw going out from the referee when he called it. So that's my guess.
And that brings us to the end of the first period here, where we see the SAIT Trojans versus the Briercrest College Clippers. 1-1 with SAIT out shooting Briercrest 16-11. Will, what did you like in that first period?
I liked there was no backing down from either side. No one looked afraid of a challenge, especially with how physical this game's been. Everyone's ready to go. Everyone's fired up. And honestly, just the offensive pressure, all around, no team has played a weak point. They've played good defense and good offense, and the goalies have played fantastic.
What is one thing that you would like to see from both sides heading into this second period?
I'd like to see SAIT watch that high guy when they're on that penalty kill. Lots of teams have been able to sneak a winger or any other forward up to that blue line, and their defensemen are around center ice, and they get that lead pass goal, and they get a breakaway in on whoever's in net. Today it is Spencer Welke. So I'd like to see them work on that.
Yeah, so that is the first period of ACAC action. I'm Brendan Donald for Will Manzik. We will see you here shortly in a couple. And welcome back to some more ACAC action, where we see the SAIT Trojans force the Briercrest College Clippers. Getting back into the second period, Will, what are you looking for in this second period?
More offensive pressure. I think SAIT really took it with them in that first period. They lead in shots 16-11. I think that late goal in the first can really help change the swing of the game for them.
Yeah, I totally agree. We are going to be back here right away for some second period action between the SAIT Trojans and the Briercrest College Clippers here in Calgary, Alberta. I'm Brendan Donald, and this is Will Manzik. Here we go. For the opening puck drop in the second period, Briercrest College Clippers winning that opening faceoff. Dylan Chivas, again, just an electric player there for the SAIT Trojans. Almost said Briercrest there, but just electric there. Machado there battling with Akins and ultimately able to get it out. But Chivas bringing that one up to Trentham, but ultimately met by Russell. Dylan Clark, the opening goal scorer for the SAIT Trojans in today, after Kelly got the goal for Briercrest to open up the scoring for today. But here we see Trojans back in their own set. Dylan Clark pointing out, trying to get his teammate Casey, trying to find some space. Now back to Machado. He's looking for an open area. Finds number 28 for SAIT, Ty Carrier. Behind the SAIT Trojans net, Trenton moving it around, passes it back to Felgeris, fires it from the point, and we have a whistle. Looks like we're going to be coming up to a penalty to Brandon Machado. And Machado and Weeb having some words there at the end as he's coming in. And now we have yet again another Briercrest situation of where they get to go on a power play.
Yeah.
Well, what did you see on that one?
I don't know. It looked like a good battle in front of the net, and then the play was stopped. And SAIT's now down a guy.
Yeah, this has kind of been the running theme of today for us, where we're not exactly sure. The opening part of the first period, we said we would like to see the refs police the game a little bit better. Maybe by us saying that, it's somehow commentator curse, and now they're policing it a little too much as opposed to letting the players play.
Now they're over policing it. They are not staying on that fine line of keeping the game safe but also letting the players play, because it feels like any time a player has momentum going, there's a penalty called.
Yeah, and again, we love having safe games, but at some point, some of these calls, but here we see Mackenzie Welke coming out there on a good situation, but Tamaj doing a good job at just getting that puck out there, putting that to a stop. Briercrest now behind their own net. Tanner Sidaway trying to put a stop to that, but 3-on-1, a little bit of a tricky situation, not necessarily having the numbers there. McAdams batting that one in there. Good battle here, but Trojans are going to have to go on a quick little shift change here. 45 seconds remaining here in this penalty to Brandon Machado. Little 5-on-4 hockey here. Obviously, we do have a couple of extra players in the bench for both sides due to that 18.1 second penalty by offsetting penalties by both squads. But here we see Briercrest and Aikens moving it in, trying to find a hole, dangling it around, but good block by Casey to make sure that one wasn't able to get home on the net. Spencer Welke didn't have to make a save there, but here we see Kelly firing that one away. Now back moving it around. Aikens firing it, but just goes wide. Machado out of the box, back to 5-on-5 hockey. You know the SAIT Trojans love having Machado on the ice because boy oh boy, does he get a lot of points for them, leading the ACAC in points, passing that to Huber. Oh, that one was just a little too high, and Schmier doing a great job at keeping that puck in the zone. Huber passing that one around, trying to find something, but Briercrest able to get that one out. Huber doing a good job keeping that puck and shooting that one back in. Definitely seeing a little bit more of what we're used to from these SAIT Trojans, which is when they start to get the puck in their in the middle part of the ice, they do a good job of putting it back in their opponent's zone. We're seeing a little bit more of that tonight, and as opposed to last night where we didn't see a whole lot of that. Jenkins now in front of us moving, passes that to Falgeris, but Dylan Clark having to do some magician work there, batting that up and down, rabbit out of a hat. Here's the puck, and here we go. Now back on with the puck after it was moved around. Goal scorer for SAIT Trojans. Ends up just firing that around. Falgeris picks that one up, gets it to Jenkins. Now back on the stick of Clark. He just turns around and fires it, but right into the chest of a Briercrest player. That was Wins moving that. Now he's back on the puck. And a good save there by Spencer Welke. So, in the first pretty much 4.5 minutes of this second period, Will, what have you liked?
The intensity so far, they're playing like they haven't really missed a beat from that first period. SAIT's penalty kill, they looked really good offensively. They controlled it. I almost thought they were on the power play for a second. I
would have to agree with you on that one. Obviously, SAIT so far this year, they've done a pretty decent job. 78.7% penalty kill. Obviously improved that from yesterday where they were at 77.2. So obviously like to see that, but yesterday they were at second for penalty kill. Today they're now ranked 4th for ACAC. So clearly some other good matchups there, allowing Briercrest to now move up there. Both teams very, very good at killing off penalties and also very good on the power play. So ultimately when you have these two teams that are good on both sides of that, not seeing a lot of goals. We didn't see any power play goals yesterday, and haven't seen any so far here today. Briercrest able to win that puck on the face-off. Bit of a taken down situation, and just unable to for Casey. Obviously he was taken down by number 14 of Briercrest, Tasuka. So that's the reason why SAIT had to go out of the zone, but they're able to pick that one back up, and they're skating up the middle of the ice. Fires that one in, but just can't get it there. Good shot there by number 13, Jaden Little. Spencer Welke really had to work on that one to get a save. Not the most dangerous shot opportunity, but definitely one for a goaltender you have to focus on. Shivas moving in, firing it, just hits the post. Casey now back on the puck, passing it up, just not quite getting it to Machado there. Now the nice little battle here. Casey's going to have to skate in and work for it. He just dumps it around back to Machado, playing behind the net. Playing in Wayne Gretzky's office there is Machado. Firing from the point is Shivas. Good opportunity there for the Trojans, just can't quite get it. Kenzie Welke comes out with it. Now back to Shivas. He's moving around. Great puck moving defenseman. Oh, very good job by number 17 of Briercrest, Lowen, at stopping that really, really good looking shot opportunity. Casey able to go around and just kind of do a little bit of a soft backhand on that, but Tamaj doing a good job at stopping that and making it so, blowing the play dead.
I like that Brandon Machado so far in the second period is trying to almost take over. He realizes he's a huge difference maker, and I'm glad he's kind of going out there and being like, you know what? Let me do this. I got this.
Yeah, definitely. When you lead the league, not only when you lead the team, but lead the league in points, you definitely want to be the difference maker out there. And in 11 games played, 17 total points, that is a very good ratio from points to game. And obviously, he's been such a difference maker coming over this year, first year as a SAIT Trojan. You know he wants to continue this good run of form. Here's Dale, Calgary-born kid, looking to continue his three-point game from yesterday. But the Trojans doing a good job at covering that one up. One thing that I'm seeing a lot more from in this SAIT Trojans team today is they're playing with a little bit more confidence, a little bit more swagger, definitely a little bit of frustrations after yesterday's 6-3 loss to Briercrest. Obviously playing back-to-back games here in Calgary due to Briercrest being in Saskatchewan and having to come very, very far out. Weeb shooting that right into Mackenzie Welke's chest, and he's doing a good job there at not allowing any rebounds to come away from that.
There's a good stop by Spencer Welke, standing strong, taking that one right into the chest and not allowing a rebound at all.
Yeah,
controlling the pace.
I totally agree. And if you hear us say Welke quite often, there are 3 Welkes on this team. Obviously Mackenzie, the captain, Carson, the assistant, and their younger brother, Spencer, who is in net. All 3 players living together here in Calgary as they're studying. And you know they love playing with each other. Briercrest doing a good job there. Dangerous situation, but just can't quite get a puck pass together. But Casey passing that up to Zach Cox. Tries to find Clark, but just can't quite get it there. Unfortunately for SAIT, Shivas, they have to move that one back out and get reset. Wims battling with Shivas there behind the net, but Shivas very quick, very shifty. A lot of skills in those hands, moving it up, firing a shot, but gets bouncing. Briercrest, Russell having to jump up in the air, looking like he was playing volleyball there. Batting that one down. Shivas moving it up to Clark. Now a nice little battle here, sit away against 2 other Briercrest players. Pollock moving it, passing that to Aikens. Trying to get something happening, passes it back to Pollock. Nice little battle here in the corner. Both teams trying to get that one out there. Briercrest able to do a good job there. Lowen firing that in, but good save by Spencer Welke on that one.
One thing that I think goes unnoticed with Spencer Welke is his rebound control. Very few times have we seen a rebound come off of this guy tonight.
Yeah, and as a goaltending coach, you look at that, one of the things you hate to have happen as a coach, as a goaltender, and particularly as a D-man, is giving up those weird rebounds, because those are where you see a lot of those dirty types of goals come from. And as a goaltender, you hate to have that, because it should be as simple as just, I'm going to put my glove over it, get it down, blow a whistle, and move on from it. But nice little battle here in the corner by both squads. SAIT trying to get that one out. Briercrest doing a good job of putting a little bit of pressure there, but SAIT able to bring that one out. Jenkins taking a big hit there, and yes, we do have a penalty coming. And definitely some frustration there. Good to see Jenkins is up and moving, but we are going to be having a penalty coming to Briercrest off of a big hit to the head on the boards.
One thing I like is SAIT didn't retaliate. They kept it. They recognized, hey, we're going to probably get a 4-minute power play here. Don't ruin this.
Yeah, and that is one thing that we have seen from SAIT in the past, is when something happens, they tend to like to retaliate. But talking with head coach Tyler Drader last week, he said this is a different team. Also talking with assistant head coach Josh Watson, he says this is a much more mature group this year, Will, and they're less likely to go after and try to do some of those retaliations. But it looks like we're only beginning 2 minutes here on the penalty. But there's a lot of discussions happening, referees talking to both benches, trying to exactly pinpoint what we're going to get here.
My guess, if they're bringing in another player to the box, it's a 2 and a 10.
Very well might be, but right now we see Ashworth, and we also see in the box number 15, Colton Atkins.
2 and 10 is correct.
So we have a 2-minute penalty and a 10-minute major misconduct. Shivas passing that to Trentham. Very, very good first-year player coming over from the Nate Oops last year. 6 goals, 6 assists on the season. Machado moving it around. Passes that to Shivas. Bringing that back up to Trentham. Gets his skates tangled up there with a Briercrest player. And Briercrest doing a good job there, just dumping that puck out there, killing off a little bit of time here on the clock. Here we see Miller passing that up to Machado. Very, very dangerous play there. Machado tries to pass it to Cox. Those two have just had a phenomenal connection this year. Machado, obviously a phenomenal playmaker for the SAIT Trojans. Zach Cox, a phenomenal sniper. Putting those two guys together on the ice, dangerous, dangerous combination, and boy, oh boy, has it worked out for him.
Yeah, Cox is one of the league leaders in goal scorers so far.
Yeah, so far this year with 7 total goals, a lot of those having a Machado assist. You know head coach Tyler Drader loves to see that from the production. Here we see Jenkins coming in, moving around, trying to find an opening. He passes that over to Shivas. Shivas passes that up to Mackenzie Welke, skating it around, trying to find some open space. He gets it back to Shivas, putting up so much time on the ice today. It seems like Shivas is always on the ice. They must not have liked something that we said as they fired it right at us here on ice level. But and we have a quick whistle, and it looks like Jenkins is going to be coming into the bench.
Looks like Jenkins is getting a high sticking penalty. I assume it's for this little bit of a scruff in front of the net.
Yeah, so we are going to be having 4-on-4 hockey here for the next 21 seconds, and then for about a minute and a half, we are going to be having a power play for the Clippers. That is the 7th penalty called against these SAIT Trojans today, with Briercrest only committing 4 penalties. So not as clean or as disciplined as you would like it to see in today's game.
We've also seen a lot of high sticking penalties.
That we have a couple of good situations here, but McAdams going in, and I don't know about that one, Will, but I think the referees called that one a little premature. It sure looked like McAdams had a really good opportunity to get to that puck, but they end up calling that one an icing call.
Yeah, I definitely think McAdam beat him there, but in the end, I guess it's an icing.
Yeah, Jacob Arlett just barely beating him out on that one, but SAIT Trojans able to win on this on that face-off, excuse me. McAdams tried to get it, but Trojans unable to connect on the pass, and Briercrest comes up with it. Stevenson now battling with Falgaris. Penalty to Ashworth is now done. So 5-on-4 hockey here. The Clippers just fired that one into the zone. Trojans and Clippers doing a good job battling here, not allowing either team to really get the advantage. Battle right in front of Welke, and we might have a couple more penalties coming here as a ref has his arm up. And
I'm intrigued to see how they're going to do this, because the last 2 times we've had scrums in the net, we've just seen coincidentals. We haven't seen the team who's starts the whole thing go shorthanded yet. So I'm intrigued to see if this one changes anything.
One thing I will say is that if there is a scrum like this, I do like the idea of having offsetting penalties, because it's both guys going at each other. But this is Chase Falgaris coming into the penalty box here, and I'm not exactly sure how they can only call that one on the SAIT
There's no way
Trojans.
they can only give out 1 penalty there. There's no way. Not after we saw the scrum along the boards after the whistle.
Well, as we're seeing here Granfield is coming into the box for the Clippers, and like what I said, if there's going to be a situation like that, I would rather see both teams get a penalty because both are committing an act like that.
And it looks like Falgaris has just been tossed from the game as well.
Yeah, obviously having a quick conversation here. I'm not exactly sure what we're having happen here, but it looks like Chase Falgaris is being ejected from the game. Mackenzie Welke here having a conversation with the refs about the situation.
I don't think you can blame Falgaris there at all for it.
I totally agree. And I'm not sure what happened with that one. Yeah, and as you hear there, Chase Falgaris walking by, very clearly unhappy with the penalty. Trojans going to be having a 5-minute major game misconduct.
What? Wait, they gave a 5-minute penalty? A 5-minute major for that?
I guess so, Will. This is, what can I say?
I'm at a loss for words. I really am.
I think you and I are both at a little bit of a loss for words on this
Even
one.
as an official, they've done this to themselves, really.
Yeah, and right now we are seeing number 25 for the SAIT Trojans, or number 26, excuse me, Dylan Clark, serving that penalty for Chase Falgaris. And boy, oh boy, this game has been very interesting, to say the least, in terms of the penalties.
It's keeping everyone on their toes, that's one thing.
Yeah, and we are about to see some 4-on-3 hockey here, which means there's going to be a lot of open space on the ice. We talked about a little bit earlier how 4-on-4 hockey, a lot of space. Now we have 4-on-3. Unfortunately for the SAIT Trojans, having that 5-minute penalty is going to hurt immensely. And you know, if you're head coach Tyler Drader, you cannot be happy with this situation. But we've seen the SAIT Trojans do a really, really good job at killing off penalties today. But one thing we would like to see is them not get too in their head and just continue to try to play as clean of a game as you possibly can against these Briercrest Clippers.
It's a tongue twister, isn't it?
Boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy, is it ever, Will. SAIT Trojans just firing that one in there, putting that one on Tajik. But if anything, that was probably the easiest save he's going to make all day. They're just dumping that one in there. Brent Trentham with Weeb. Nice little battle there, but Trojans doing a good job at killing this one off and just dumping it in, getting some fresh legs on the ice to help continue to kill off this 4-on-3 penalty. Unfortunately for SAIT, they're going to be a man down for another minute, or for another 3 minutes and 45 seconds once this penalty to Jenkins comes to an end. Arslet coming in, but just moving that one around. Here we see Weeb, or excuse me, that was Russell battling. Jenkins coming in, and another penalty is being brought. And firing. Good job by Mackenzie Welke to get a stop on that one. And finally we have a whistle. And we are, Will, what are you seeing there?
I'm guessing it's a cross-check for the hit along the boards there. I don't know. I think after you give SAIT a 5-minute major to call a cross-check like that, that's pretty weak.
I would have to agree with you here. And again, right beside us here is Brett Trentham for his 3rd penalty of the game. He looks confused and frustrated on that call.
Trentham's had the short end of the calls 3 times now for his penalties. Just got to feel bad for him.
Well, we talked to him right before the start of the 2nd period, and he felt that he had not had these calls coming his way. Obviously, there was that interesting call made where right on the faceoff he was called for a high stick pretty much as soon as the puck dropped, and that was the one where you and I were most flabbergasted by. But here we see Eanes moving that around, tries to find Aikens, just unable to connect on that one. Goes back to Arlette. Or Polchek, excuse me. Moving that one around. Getting everyone set up. Granfield, excuse me. Now out of the box. But yeah, unfortunately for these SAIT Trojans, they're going to be 2-man down for another minute and 17 seconds. So this is 5-on-3 hockey here. Briercrest having a lot of players available. They're able to move. Paulette moving it, trying to find a shot. And Dale shooting it in, but Trojans just trying to fire it out to help kill off these 2 penalties.
This could be quite the momentum changer if SAIT's able to kill off these penalties.
Yeah, in what feels like a game where nothing is going their way in terms of calls, they're doing a really, really good job. Obviously, if you're Briercrest and you have all these penalty opportunities.
Looks like Jenkins is also leaving the bench. Put in a shift after the hit to the head, but it looks like he's going to the dressing room.
Yeah, definitely walking, getting checked out a little bit here. We are going to have to get an update on that. With 6 minutes remaining here in the second period, no score so far. Shots totaling 21-21 for both teams. Another thing that I was just about to say before we saw Jenkins walking off is if you're Briercrest, having these opportunities to be up a man or up a couple of men, it's really going to tire out the legs of the SAIT Trojans. But if SAIT is able to kill off these penalties, like we've seen them do, that also gives so much more juice and so much life back to the SAIT Trojans, because they're just not allowing Briercrest to do much with it. Briercrest doing a really good job right now of just passing it around, but not able to get any clear lanes at the net for a shot. Granfield trying to find it, moving it around. Good save there by Spencer Welke. 15 seconds remaining here in the Brent Trentham penalty.
One thing I've noticed with Briercrest 5-on-3, they've fallen into that complacent way that most teams when they're on 5-on-3 do, is they're passing around and not really getting that shot off. And when they do get the shot off, it's not that clean of a shot.
Yeah, that's one of the weird things in hockey. When you feel like you do have the numbers on your side, that 5-on-3, you're passing it around, you just keep passing and passing and passing, hoping for that perfect opportunity, when in some instances you have a good opportunity to shoot, but you don't take it because you're waiting for that perfect. And it kills off a lot of time. Sometimes you just got to take those more dirty shots, but here we have an icing call. 4 seconds remaining here on the Brent Trentham.
High sticking.
High sticking
for Briercrest, just reaches his stick above the shoulders. So it's going to stay in the Briercrest zone, which is great for SAIT. They got 4 seconds left on the Trentham penalty before he can get out there. And if they win that faceoff, they can take a bit of some offensive pressure to Briercrest.
Yeah, and with Trentham, you know he's going to come out like an absolute rocket out of the penalty box trying to get there. SAIT just doing the smart thing and just going back, trying to get everything reset. But they bring it up to, or they try to pass it up to Trentham. He's just skidding it over. McAdams doing a nice little battle. Now they're going to have to kind of get reset here. Another minute and 15 seconds here on the Falgeris penalty. Dylan Clark serving it for Falgeris, but here we see Trentham. We have numbers here. Trentham sheaves, but good job there by Aikens, not allowing that 2-on-1 to go any further than what it was.
And Briercrest looks like they got a penalty now.
Yes, they do. So we are back to some 5-on-5 hockey. That's going to be a big, big momentum changer for SAIT, with just a little under 5 minutes remaining here in the second period, where we have a 1-to-1 hockey game. Shivas moving it around, moves it up to Machado.
SAIT's doing the right thing here too. Take as much time off of your penalty before Briercrest penalty starts, so you get that longer penalty kill.
Exactly, and 27 seconds remaining in that Falgeris penalty. That's just going to be even better for the SAIT Trojans, because they're going to have a minute and a half of penalty for themselves, and this is Aikens going off for Briercrest. SAIT's 5th power play opportunity of the game here after the next 27 seconds. So we're going to have a little bit of 4-on-4 hockey for you, and then a minute and 33 seconds of power play for these SAIT Trojans.
I mean, Dylan Chivas and Brandon Machado put in quite the effort to keep the play going for as long as they did.
Yeah, Dylan Chivas, obviously, he is just all over the ice today, man. He is just on every single possession, it seems like. And obviously, this is a great momentum builder for the SAIT Trojans, because if they are able to kill off these next 15 seconds, which likely they should be able to, that means they have been able to kill off 7 minutes straight of penalties. That, like what I was saying a little bit earlier, Will, that gives so much life and so much juice back into your legs. And now that they have a situation where Miller slips a little bit there, but Sidaway tries to get it, but that gives you so much more hope. Dylan Clark coming right out of the penalty box like a rocket ship there. But you have so much more hope, and you get the balance. And
we're getting coincidentals, it looks like.
A lot of penalties
Dylan
called.
Clark's going right back to the box.
Yeah, we see Kelly, who was also the opening goal scorer. So today's opening goal scorers in Clark and Kelly back into the box. And so we have coincidental penalties.
Okay.
And here we see four. SAIT able to win that one. Trentham now back on the puck. Moving it around, trying to find a clear lane. Good shot there, but bounces right off the shoulder of Tamaj, having to do a nice little back check there against Weeb. And now moving it forward, that is Cox. Passing it in there for Trentham. Briercrest doing a good job at firing that one out there. Ziegler now moving it around, trying to get his teammate there. Cox kind of being a little bit behind the D, but Ziegler brings that one in, gets it dumped in. Machado now battling. Now we're seeing Cox also battling on the boards. Going back to Ziegler. Going to Machado, brings that to Carrier. Back to Machado, now moving around. Hits Ziegler, looking for an open lane. He's going to pass it and not able to get anything there. Machado just barely out of his reach there, as we see Briercrest about to come to the end of this penalty. Machado firing that in there, but can't quite get the pass onto Cox's stick. And now we are back to some 5-on-5 hockey here, where we see the SAIT Trojans play the Briercrest College Clippers. Dylan Chivas moving it in. Good opportunity there, but just can't quite get it home. Huber firing from the point, but that one goes out. Casey having to do a little bit of a battle here and a little skate around his own net, trying to get stuff set up. A lot of pressure there by Briercrest. They're having to move that in. Huber donning the assistant captain. He was part of that amazing freshman line last year, of where we saw Carson and McKenzie and Zach Huber all be just so phenomenal together. They're all donning letters on their sweaters. Minute and a half here remaining in the second period, where we see both teams even at 22 shots on net. Casey moving it in, trying to find someone, but can't. Briercrest able to get that one going. Little bit of bump in there. Ends trying to move that around, but met by a couple of SAIT Trojans. Perlini moving it. Perlini got some numbers there, but Ziegler doing a great job of just batting that one out there. Carson Welke gets it and picks it up, passes it to Sidaway. Dale firing that one up to Perlini, and big hit there on the boards by both the squads. 40 seconds remaining here in this first period. It almost feels like both teams are really just trying to get out of this period without incidents. Huber now coming in. Welke just gets a little bit too ahead of himself there, and fortunately just doesn't get the pass there from Huber, which I think he was expecting. Sheaves tries to get the stop, a very good chance by Granfield. McKenzie moving it in, trying to find Chivas, bringing it in. Oh, very good opportunity. Just couldn't quite connect there on the sticks. 7 seconds remaining here in this second period. Clippers are just going to dump that one in there to bring an end to this second period of play. Will, this was an interesting period to say the least. A lot of penalties. Give me your thoughts, man.
I think this was a frustrating period for SAIT. They definitely feel like they got the short end of the stick on a lot of these penalty calls. Definitely felt like they were the team that kept getting the calls against them or kept getting put down an extra guy if there was coincidentals. So one thing I'd like to see is for this I'd almost like to see them brush it off. Not let it affect them and just go out there and go, you know what? We can take over this game. This is our game to win.
I totally agree with you. I'm Brendan Donald, and for Will Manzig, we will see you in another 15 minutes for some more ACAC hockey. See you shortly. And welcome back, everybody, to some more ACAC hockey here in Calgary, where we see the SAIT Trojans versus the Briercrest College Clippers. And boy, oh boy, was that a second period, Will. Not much more that you can say other than both teams definitely going back into the dressing rooms, having to kind of clean some stuff up and play with a little bit more head on their shoulders. What do you want to see other than more discipline going into this third period for both squads?
I want to see SAIT, when they get into the offensive zone, keep it in there as well. Find those good shots. Don't just flip it onto net like they were doing a lot in that second period. Find a way to keep that puck in deep and keep it there for as long as possible.
Yeah, and that is going to bring us to the third period of action on ACAC. I'm Brendan Donald, Will Manzig here on the call. Are back. So far today, SAIT Trojans, Briercrest College Clippers. That is just keep twisting in my tongue there, Will. But shots 22-22, 1-1 game. And we see the SAIT Trojans start out this third period, dumping that in. Carriage couldn't quite get it, but we see Trenton battling on the boards, trying to get the puck. But here we see Casey moving it around, passing it to Machado. He's looking for his first point of the game. Chivas firing it in there for kind of a dirty shot. Just can't quite get it whole there. Now we see Briercrest coming, but Chivas doing a good job there battling. Carrier tries to get it to Machado, but just can't quite connect on that stick. And we have a whistle.
One thing I like about the Trojans defense is they aren't afraid to take those shots. They are as much as an offensive defensive core than any other team really in the league.
Yeah, one thing that I love to see from this defensive core, and it's not just Chivas or Trenton, or excuse me, Chase Falgeras, all the guys, they move the puck really, really well. And then on top of that, they're also really sound defensively. Obviously, Dylan Chivas, special talent. He's out there what seems like 100% of the time, both last night and tonight, and mostly a lot of other games here. But Lowen firing that to the fellow teammate there, that is Wins, trying to get something there, but they just fire it across. Lowen now back with the puck on his stick, getting it to Wins, but just unable to get something on the boards. Now Dylan Chivas, stop us if you've heard that name before. Good job by just getting a couple bouncing, and we see Carson Welke coming in, trying to pass it back to Carrier, but just unable to get something there. Chivas kind of in front of, or excuse me, that was Trenton kind of battling in front of the net. Trojans having a quick change here. Miller with the battle, but that puck goes out. Schmier trying to pass that to Ziegler, but kind of fanned a little bit on the pass. Dangerous situation there, and they score! Miller getting the goal! And I was just about to say here, Tamaj in a really, really awkward spot, trying to get that puck out of the zone, ends up coming back to bite him, and we have a 2-1 game off of the goal of Chase Miller.
What a goal. Just fantastic. Mackenzie Welke battling behind the net, centering that puck for Chase Miller, and he wastes no time slapping that one home.
No, he did not, Will. Boy, oh boy, that is exactly how you want to start the second period, or the third period, excuse me. Put your team ahead, and maybe a little bit of lapse of judgment there by goaltender Dominique Tamaj. And now we have a 2-1 hockey game. SAIT getting 2 unanswered goals after the early goal in the first. Now Granfield, excuse me, passes that up to Ems, looking for Little. Almost gets it there to Little, but just not quite there. Spencer Welke, I don't think he necessarily saw Little coming in front of him. He was looking for the puck. Could have been dangerous if Little got the puck on a stick. But here we see the Toothless Wonder, as my colleague likes to call him, Dylan Shivas. Dumps that around, passes that to Dylan Clark. Got the opening goal for the SAIT Trojans here in the first period. No goals scored in the second. That goal coming very early in the third by Chase Miller. Battle here on the boards. Passing it up to Aikens, but Dylan Shivas able to get that all, but unable to connect there on the board pass to Sidaway. And the Clippers are able to dump that one in. Spencer Welke going behind his net with a lot of traffic, but able to get it clear. Gets that up to Cox, who now brings that to Sidaway. Sidaway fires that in there. Cox gets it on the backhand, and Tamaj getting an excellent recovery save after allowing that goal earlier.
The Briercrest defense looks a little fatigued out there. They look to be a couple steps behind the SAIT offense. I don't know if SAIT's come out here with like a second wind here, knowing that, hey, this is the final period before this Christmas break for us. Like, we got to really step it up here and bring it to them, or if that second period really fatigued Briercrest defensive core here.
Yeah, and one thing that we like to talk about here is obviously when big penalties happen, and I feel like we might actually have a penalty here, but when a team gets a bunch of penalties taken against them, and that is going to be number 19 of Briercrest, Ryan Milley, or no, that is Perlin, excuse me, got my numbers mixed up and assumed. That is SAIT's 8th power play opportunity of today's game. Very penalized game, but one thing that I was going to say is when you're able to kill off 7 minutes of 5-on-3, then 5-on-4, you think you'd be really, really tired, but ultimately that helps you maybe get a little bit more energy back. Trentham not able to get something going there, but really dangerous opportunity here. Let's see if the SAIT Trojans, who have a mighty good power play, if they can put a goal here, getting their 14th power play goal of the year. Shivas passing that around, passes that to Trentham. Those two have worked really, really well together so far this year. Machado, team leader in points and also leader in the ACAC 4 points. Shivas passes that back to Trentham, trying to get that up, passes that to Carrier, trying to move that around. Now back to Shivas, fires it from the point, tries to get it, and boy, oh boy, did that one come ever close. Trentham just couldn't quite get his stick on that one, and the SAIT Trojans have to regroup here with just a minute remaining here in this power play. Machado able to get that weird rebound and weird steal. I think even he was a little bit surprised he had the puck on a stick for that one, but now Shivas back with it. Firing it at the point. Trentham right in front trying to do that Matthew Tkachuk screen and just do a little bit of a tip goal in what we've seen so much from the former, now new Florida Panthers player in Matthew Tkachuk.
Yeah, and I'm loving this offensive pressure that SAIT's bringing. They are taking it to Briercrest. They haven't really looked like they're struggling to keep the puck in. They have kept it in and dominated that zone so far.
Yeah, one thing that we talked a bunch about with Briercrest is when they had the man advantage there, good slap shot there by Chase Miller, and it looks like we have another power play or another penalty coming up against Briercrest. And we finally have a whistle here, bringing it in. But one thing that I really, really like about the SAIT Trojans, as opposed to what the Briercrest College Clippers did when they had the man advantage, is yes, they're moving the puck around and they're passing it well, but they're also firing those shots, even if they don't have necessarily the best angle. This is going to be Cole Stevenson. Will, what did you see on that penalty?
It looked like he took out Huber's feet and just pretty simple trip. Kind of one of those penalties where he stopped skating for a couple of seconds, and in the end, it cost him.
Yeah, so Briercrest going to be down for another 2 minutes and 33 seconds, but this is going to be a 5-on-3, and it looks like head coach Tyler Drader going to call the boys over to the bench for a quick timeout and a quick strategy session. You know for a fact that if SAIT can put a goal on one or both of these power play opportunities, they would be very, very happy with that. And with 20 seconds remaining here in the timeout call, one thing that I want to see SAIT do is, yes, they're passing it around, but they need to continue to make sure they're taking those shots when they present. Don't wait for a perfect opportunity. Take the opportunities when they're given to you. Yes, it may only be okay or good. You don't have to wait for it to be perfect all the time. And I think that's what head coach Tyler Drader was talking to the boys about, saying, listen, you did a really good job so far in the minute 30 of that first power play. Let's continue this now that we have 5-on-3.
Yeah, I think his message is don't be afraid to take that shot if it's there. If that opportunity presents itself, don't try and find a better one. Just take advantage.
Yeah, going into today's game, SAIT came in with 44 goals on the season, now up to 46. Very, very impressive so far this year, coming in with a really good opportunity. That was Brett Trentham. Now the toothless wonder, Dylan Shivas, passes it back to Trentham. He gets that back to Shivas. He passes that one over to Carrier. Trentham fires it, but broken stick on the play. And Perline now back on the ice, so we have a 5-on-4. And it looks like
Briercrest is getting another penalty.
It does appear to be that way. We will see the official call here. And it does look like Briercrest is going to be a man down, or another man down, right after killing off that 5-on-3. They're now going to be back to a 5-on-3 for a minute and 18 seconds.
A huge game-changing opportunity for SAIT.
This is a really good opportunity for SAIT to really put the hammer down on the pedal and really go after it, because you are only up by 1 goal. And we do like to say the most dangerous lead in hockey is 2 goals, but you would feel much more comfortable being up 2 as opposed to 1, because Briercrest at any moment could come back, tie this game up. So for the SAIT Trojans, having a 5-on-3 for essentially what looks like it could be 4 minutes. Obviously, they had a 5-on-3 for about 33 seconds there. Kind of gave me a little bit of look there. Don't worry, I did my math on that one, Will. Coming to a surprise to you, I bet. Trojans able to win the face-off there, but Briercrest doing a really good job there. And we have an arm up. Looks like Briercrest is going to bring this back to a 4-on-3 whistle. Will, what did you see on that penalty to cause, or what did you see on that play to cause the penalty, which is coming up?
I saw just the scrum in front of the net. Obviously, he did dump him in front of the net. I don't know if high sticking would be the right call. I definitely thought I saw more shoulder and elbow more than a high stick. And I think it kind of confused SAIT. I think SAIT thought they were getting another power, like that Briercrest was going to be getting another penalty. But in the end, it's SAIT going down to just 4-on-3 now.
Yeah, so Zach Cox getting the penalty there, and when I saw the referee's arm go up, I saw Zach Cox underneath a Briercrest player. So again, some interesting calls here today have been made, but SAIT Trojans going to be a man down at the end of all this for about 20 seconds. But right now, it is a 4-on-3 battle. Not a lot of bodies on the ice right now, so a lot of open space. Let's see what both teams are capable of doing here. And here we see Dylan Shivas moving it all the way up to Brent Trentham, but unable to get that absolutely rocket of a pass there from Shivas. I think that one caught Trentham a little off guard because it was a heater. Carrier coming in, moving it around, trying to find a teammate, but Briercrest doing a very, very good job at dumping that one in to help kill off this 4-on-3. 4-on-3 is going to be coming to an end here in the next 10 seconds, putting us back to even strength 4-on-4 hockey. Briercrest would then have 4-on-4 for another 40 seconds. Back to even strength. Carrier has to be careful of Stevenson. Battle here in front of the net. Tamaj able to just cover up that puck. Trentham lying on top of Tamaj, but yeah, we're gonna have a quick lost for the word here. Trying to find it. We're gonna have a quick change for both sides here. But yeah, so not a whole lot on these last couple of penalties, or last couple penalty minutes here, Will. What do you think the SAIT Trojans need to do to put one behind the net with a good opportunity right there?
They just need to keep the offensive pressure going, keep firing shots on Tamaj, find anything. The Chase Miller goal, I don't think many people expected that shot coming off right away. It just caught everyone caught everyone by surprise, and I think they got to keep that up.
I totally agree with you there, Will. McAdams there moving it in, trying to get around, trying to move it. Briercrest able to pick that one up here and there, moving it around. Ends, passing it to Akins. He just dumps it for a backhand there. I think he was more or less hoping for like a Hail Mary type pass on that one. Good shot there by Kelly. Only goal scorer for Briercrest today. Spencer Welke having to work for it. Big battle behind the net. Zach Cox now out. Both teams back to 5-on-5 even strength hockey, and it looks like Briercrest is about to go back on the power play here.
It looks like SAIT is getting a cross-checking penalty against them with 12 minutes left in the third and that 1-goal lead. This is a critical penalty kill for them. This is one that they have to kill off.
Yeah, Zach Ziegler having a conversation here with the ref, and definitely not happy sitting beside us here. And this has definitely been a game of, feels like the referees are definitely putting their stamp and their mark on today's game. Good shot there by Ends from the point. Moving it around, Akins has a little bit of a trip here in front of us. Bullshit. Passing it, trying to get something there, but unable to connect with his teammate. And Mackenzie Welke had a good opportunity there, just not able to break away with the puck. Mackenzie Welke behind. That was kind of a situation for Tamaj where he allowed that Chase Miller goal to happen. So you know he's definitely going to be a little bit smarter when playing the puck behind his net with SAIT Trojan players, especially Mackenzie Welke, who helped set that up. Now moving this around. Perline past that good slap shot by Dale. But, ooh, Weeb is able to keep that one in barely, but Schmier battling with I'm just about to say Portage, but this is Briercrest. SAIT doing an excellent job at killing off this penalty. 50 seconds remaining in the Ziegler. Stevenson coming in, looking for a teammate. He's skating around a couple players. Trojans doing a really good job at not allowing, but Briercrest able to get that. I believe that was Stevenson trying to make that shot, but McAdams able to steal that one, but McAdams not able to quite get that one out, tried to get it to Shivas, but Zach Cox now able to pick that one up, and weird bounce off the boards by Zach Cox, and which allowed Briercrest to keep that one in, but McAdam doing a great job in front of the net, making sure and just shooting that one out to help continue to kill this penalty. Ziegler, he is very animated. He wants to get out there. He's coming out like a rocket. Chase Miller back on the ice for Ziegler. And Spencer Welke doing a very, very good job at putting his glove over that puck and blowing this play dead.
And how many times have we said it this year, but the SAIT Trojans penalty kill unit is successful again.
Yeah, going into tonight with 78.7% on the PPK. I have a bunch of check marks down here showing how many penalties there are. Usually I'd be able to go, that's 3 or 4. There's so many check marks here today that I'm not even going to try to count that, but you know for a fact, amazing job by SAIT to not allow a single goal on what seems to be an endless amount of check marks that I have written down in my notes.
And a great job by Spencer Welke just to stay calm, cool, and collected with the amount of pressure that's come up against him, putting his glove down on the play before, being able to stop this one again, not letting up a rebound. He's been fantastic to watch so far.
Yeah, one thing that you always like to say with a goaltender is you don't really want to be talking too much about them. And the less you talk about the goaltender, kind of the better game they almost have. Obviously, really good situation here for Sidaway, but bouncing. But again, talking about a goaltender, if you hear his name a lot, that means he's either facing a ton of shots or he's getting scored on. We haven't really mentioned Spencer Welke's name a whole bunch tonight. And you know for the SAIT Trojans, they are happy. Even though there is 27 shots on the board, nothing that really has felt too dangerous against them, which is good. With just a little under 9 minutes remaining here in this third period of ACAC hockey between the SAIT Trojans and the Briercrest College Clippers, looks like we are going to be having a penalty coming up to Briercrest as Trenton gone down.
A big moment here for SAIT. Got to win this face-off in the offensive zone. Keep the play going. Find a way to put this game away.
Yeah, this feels like one of those moments that if they can put a goal behind Tamaj, who has just been an absolutely phenomenal tendy so far this year, doesn't necessarily have the record or the numbers, but he has played well, not only in today's game, but also in the other games. But if SAIT is able to get another one past him here in this third period, it could almost feel like the final dagger in this game. But we know Briercrest is a very tough team while Weeb slips there a little bit. Ziegler having to do a quick battle there. He's up against Russell. Ziegler now passing that one up to Mackenzie Welke, the captain for the SAIT Trojans. Trying to find Huber, the assistant captain. Both Welke brothers, Carson and Mackenzie and Huber, were part of that freshman line last year that was oh so dynamic. Huber getting that up there, just couldn't quite get there. Ziegler trying to dive out to get there, but unable to, so SAIT is going to have to make the skate of shame backwards and get reset. But boy, oh boy, do they do a good job. Huber to Welke, back to Huber, but Huber just couldn't quite connect on that one. Gets that to Dylan Clark, opening goal scorer for the SAIT Trojans here today, playing so well. And Carson Welke had daylight there, but just couldn't quite connect on that one. Dylan Clark with a slap shot and a good save by Tamaj.
Both goalies look really good. They don't seem to be faced by the pressure that's being put up against them so far in this third period.
Yeah, they're doing, without a doubt, a phenomenal, phenomenal job here, Will. And if you're a hockey fan, this has been an interesting game to watch. If you're a goalie fan, you are loving what you're seeing out of both of these tendies. Obviously, the only goal here in this second period was kind of that weird one. Chivas getting a nice little shot there, but Tamaj playing against Mackenzie Welke in the corner. Welke able to win that, get it to Chase Miller, put it behind him, and what was just an empty net. But a little bit of a lapse of judgment there for Tomaj, but ultimately recovering and having himself a phenomenal rest of the third period. Welke, Spencer Welke that is, still waiting for the day where I can call Spencer Welke passes it to either one of his brothers, who passes it to another brother, and potentially for a goal. Waiting for that to happen. Still hasn't, but who knows? Maybe it might happen tonight. Will.
The Welke scoring triangle.
The Welke scoring triangle. I like that. Welke getting that, but carry. Unfortunately, big race here. Spencer Welke coming out of his net to make sure that Perline is unable to get that puck and continue. Now Perline back with the puck on his stick, trying to find his teammate there. Good job by Spencer to make sure that he's not going to be able to allow anything. Tasaka was also there with Perline, but they just couldn't quite connect there. 6.5 minutes remaining here in this third period of ACAC action. We would like to thank all of you for watching this game with us here. Our lovely producer Brendan alongside us, all the cameramen working with us, all the excellent SAIT employees here making sure that this broadcast could be so good. So happy that I can be part of a program here at SAIT that allows us to put on such a professional broadcast. As always happy to have my broadcast partner here, Will Manzik. Such great chemistry that we have.
Yeah, it's an honor to come do these games. I love it.
Really is. Have to agree with you. And it looks like we have a 4-minute major penalty.
I think they're changing it down to 2.
Yeah.
I saw the official come up and put up 2 fingers. So I'm guessing it is just a 2-minute high stick.
I would assume it's going to be a 2-minute penalty.
That would make sense. A bit of a late call there as well, I noticed. The stick went into the netting, which is like something you don't see often. And it was the arm for the referee didn't go up right away. And I think that was Briercrest's main issue with the call, is the fact that it wasn't called right away. It was a solid 2-3 seconds later.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that one. But SAIT Trojans, again so far in this third period, with another power play opportunity. Let's see what they can do on this 5-on-4. They had their first power play opportunity of the period. We really enjoyed what SAIT was doing. They were passing it, but they were also taking the shots that they were given as opposed to waiting for the perfect opportunity. Unfortunately, nothing come away with that. Minute 30 here in this Clippers penalty. Huber tried to get it, but Kelly was able to body check him into the boards, and it looks like we're going to have an offside call here.
Yeah, this is a huge moment for SAIT. Got to get it back into the offensive zone. You don't want to let Briercrest win this faceoff and kill more time off of this penalty.
Yeah, and what we see right now is the power line of Carrier, Machado, Cox, Trenton, and Shivas. These guys are able to move the puck around. A lot of goal-scoring ability on the ice for the SAIT Trojans there. Spencer Welke having to make probably the save of his game because it was just so unexpected, and kind of a little bit of a wobbler there for him. But he made that one, but it was not an easy one for him.
Caught everyone off guard, I think, even Spencer a little bit.
Yeah, as a goal, when you're behind there and you see it in the middle of the ice, you're definitely prepared, but you're not prepared to take a shot from center ice, especially when it's higher up like that was. He kind of had to fumble around with it a little bit. So that definitely a little bit of a weird situation, but one that he made. 30 seconds remaining here on this penalty. Briercrest doing a really good job. We have 2 of the top penalty killing teams and 2 of the top penalty or power play teams going up against each other in the ACAC, so it's kind of like an immovable object and an unstoppable force going at it. Neither team able to really get anything on the power play. No power play goals so far in this game. Looks like this Briercrest penalty is going to come to an end here with only 3 seconds left. Another power play opportunity for SAIT that they can't quite capitalize on there. You know it's got to be frustrating. They came into today's game with a 28.3% on the power play, you know those numbers are going to be hurt a little bit tomorrow when it's all said and done. Big game here for the SAIT Trojans as we see Polchette moving it in, firing it, but unable to get something. Casey behind the net, battling with Lowen. Good opportunity for Enns. Good shot, good shot by Enns, but an even better save by Spencer Welke. Enns fires it just between the 5-hole of Zach Cox. Good save by Spencer Welke, kind of getting that screen save. Briercrest doing a good job at moving it around. Now back on the stick of Enns. Looking for a shooting opportunity. Good save. And oh my goodness, that puck was out. And Chase Miller now on the attack. Briercrest is looking on how in the world did that one not go by Spencer Welke, but Zach Ziegler trying to get something going. Wow, oh wow, Will. Both of our jaws, we need to pick those up off of the floor because I think both of us kind of sat there going, that one's in, and the puck randomly was, it was out of the zone. We couldn't believe it.
It almost felt like that play in the gold medal game between Canada and Finland where McTavish batted the puck out of midair to prevent the overtime winner. That's what that felt like.
I have to agree with you on that one. Spencer Welke was on his stomach praying that the puck didn't go in. And boy, oh boy, the hockey gods answers his prayers because Trojans had a really good opportunity there. He's going to have to show some love to the boys who were on the ice, helping him with that one later. But boy, oh boy, if you're Briercrest, that has to just be so frustrating because you essentially had an open net, but Kelly able to do a good job at keeping that puck in the zone. Chivas now moving it, trying to get that one out, and it is. And we have a referee's arm up here. We're going to see what the call is going to be. I think it's going to be
just an icing.
Just an icing. 2 minutes and 41 seconds remaining here in this game where we see the SAIT Trojans up 2-1 over Briercrest College Clippers.
Zach Ziegler did not leave the bottom of that circle either when that icing started. He knew.
He knew exactly what it was. He said, why am I going to waste some energy here when I can just stay here and let everyone else come back to me? Good way to conserve some energy. Something that you see a lot of from Alex Ovechkin in the NHL as we see Dylan Clark coming up here. Got a goal earlier, couldn't quite get it on the stick of Huber. He was looking to mince around some of the defenders there, but just couldn't quite get past there. But that's something that you see a lot from Alex Ovechkin of the Washington Capitals. When you watch him play, doesn't do a whole lot of movement when he's actually on the ice, but he's such a presence that the teams have to cover him, and that allows other people to get open. And that's kind of what he did there on that one. Obviously, different situation, but still funny to see. 2 minutes remaining here in this hockey game. And we have Carson Welke battling Ems for the puck there on the boards. Casey now having to back up for the SAIT Trojans. Aikens gets it to Milgate. Passes it to Polchette. Spencer Welke having to make an interesting save situation. Refs rushing in there.
Making sure nothing else happens. I think we're all hoping for a clean last minute 41.
That we are, Will. Again, going back to all the check marks that we have written down in our notes. I would love to be able to count them out for you, but I don't know if we would have all day for that. But yeah, I know both of us, Briercrest calling a quick timeout here. Minute 41 seconds remaining in the game. You're down by a goal. Will, when, if you're a head coach, do you pull the tendy?
I would pull him at, I think it depends on this face-off. I think it depends on the face-off here. If Briercrest wins, I expect Demolished to be racing towards the bench. If SAIT wins, he's staying put. I don't like pulling the goalie too early. I think anything after the 2 minutes marker is fine. Anything before, it just kind of seems like you put yourself more at a disadvantage than anything.
You and me are on the exact same page. I am all for pulling your goaltender and adding that extra man out there. And it appears that Tomaj is just going to stay on the bench. So as we're talking, this is going to be a very interesting situation if SAIT is able to win the face-off and get something going. But now, 6-on-5, minute 41, essentially a penalty situation. A lot of bodies on the ice, less opportunities for shooting. Huber able to win that one, but the referees are going to blow that one dead. Going to be Huber and Stevenson going up against each other. Stevenson now getting booted out of, or no, he's coming back. Looked like he was kind of upset walking out away from the circle there, but here we see Huber, Stevenson, who's coming up with it, and that's the SAIT Trojans. They are able to do a decent job of trying to get that one out there. 3-on-1 situation. They're just going to dump that one, and Briercrest able to keep that one in. McAdams trying to get it out, and they are able to. Ends looking for a teammate. He finds. Oh, very good opportunity there for the Trojans. That was a wide open net, but unfortunately Ends just couldn't quite get it on target. Good save by Mackenzie Welke. Minute remaining here in this first period. You know for a fact that the Clippers are looking to put this one behind. A lot of bodies in front of that net, Will. Here we see them moving around, slowly trying to find it. McAdams dumps it in. Is he getting it? And Cam McAdams from his own blue line gets it in to put the SAIT Trojans up 3-2-1. You see Spencer Welke immediately going up to Cam McAdams, giving him a big old hug and saying, "Thank you, brother. You're making my life easy."
I would have loved to see Spencer Welke take that shot too. I think it would have been something if we had a goalie goal.
I would agree with you on that one. Classic little Peke Rene getting a goal from your own net. But beautiful shot there. And you know for Spencer Welke, he is so happy that McAdams is able to score that, because that takes so much pressure off of him on that one. And it puts so much more pressure on Briercrest to try to get something going. And here we see Briercrest pulling Tomaj yet again, trying to get that. But Trenton trying to win it, but unable to keep it on his stick. 20 seconds remaining here in the third. 3-1 for these SAIT Trojans. You're the SAIT Trojans. You are very happy with the result of today's game. Unless something miraculous happens with 10 seconds remaining, you are going to be going into this break a very, very happy team. 4 seconds remaining here. Clippers out shooting the Trojans 35-32, but I think the Trojans are going to be A-okay without being outshot here, with the result being 3-1 in favor of them. So, Will, great game. What are your analysis of it here?
It was a fantastic game. Both teams came out firing in the first two periods. A lot of penalties in the second period, and then SAIT just took over in this third period. This third period for the Trojans was like a way different team than I felt like we saw in the first two periods. And Briercrest, it almost felt like they checked out early in this game.
I don't know if they necessarily checked out early, but it felt like they might have been a little bit more fatigued. Obviously, making that long drive from Saskatchewan into Calgary. Tough situation for them, obviously, but great result for these SAIT Trojans. Will, who would you give the players of the games to?
For SAIT, I'm looking at either Dylan Clark or Spencer Welke. You can't ignore the game that Spencer Welke just had.
Yeah, obviously a phenomenal job, and our lovely PA announcer Christian is going to give us the players of the game. Yeah, and number 10, that is going to be Brandon Kelly of the Clippers, getting the only goal for the SAIT Trojans. And for the SAIT Trojans, rightly so predicted there, is Spencer Welke getting his second victory on the season. Will, this was a phenomenal game of hockey for the ACAC. Very, very happy to see. We'd like to thank you all for watching. I'm Brendan Donald for Will Manzik. We would like to see you all later here today for the women's, where the women's SAIT Trojans take on Olds.